Hello everybody, and welcome to Turning Over Every Stone. You can call me T.O.E.S. I want to thank you for stopping by and checking out my channel. The purpose of this video is to highlight the importance of what the outcome would have been if the surviving roommates would have called 911. And the examples I'm going to use are from some news clips, some sound bites, and something from a movie called The Cleaner featuring Samuel Jackson. In these examples that I'm going to be showing, it's going to show you what true crime is. It's going to show you what true policing is. And it's also going to show that it doesn't only affect the victims, but it even affects the family of the perpetrators too. So just, kick back, enjoy the show, and I'll be commentating throughout the video. I hope you enjoy it.
Good evening, I'm Joe Torres.
And I'm Tanya Rivero. We begin with breaking news in Brooklyn. Police say a man stabbed several members of his family, 4 little girls. Then police say he charged at them with a meat cleaver. That's when they shot him.
Well, Joe and Tanya, the violent, bloody crime scene in the home behind me is made all the more horrific because the victims are so young and the attacker is believed to be a relative who lived with them. Police say a 49-year-old man, most likely an uncle, started slashing and stabbing 4 girls in the home, only 8, 11, 13 and 16 years old. Despite her tender age and the trauma suffered, officials report the 11-year-old was able to hide in another room and call 911. Help arrived. Police kicked down the door and tell us they shot the man holding the bloody knife. Thankfully, all the girls are expected to survive. There was also a little boy who ran to a neighbor's house for help. He was not injured. We're live in Brooklyn tonight. I'm Lucy Young for Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Now, ain't that something? This 11-year-old girl had the insight and the will to survive, to run and call 911, which enabled her to be able to save her sisters and I believe her brother too. And on top of that, apprehend the assailant, which he ended up dying at the scene. So, once again, this is an example of what happens when you do call 911 compared to when you don't call 911. So with this next clip I'm about to play here, I'm playing it to give an example of how crimes get handled in Washington State, Idaho, that whole region. They all work on the same systems. They all use the same technology. This particular crime happened in Federal Way, Washington, which is another place where I grew up in. It's on the western part of Washington State. Still not too far, a few hours away from Moscow. But once again, I'm showing this to show what happens when you do call 911 and when you don't, and the outcomes, and to show how true policing is supposed to work and how it works efficiently when it's using the tools that are supplied to it. A lot of these police departments are heavily militarized and, they have all kind of gadgets, this and that. So when I first came across this Idaho case, that was the biggest thing that caught my attention, was the lack of transparency and the fact that at the time that this occurred, 2022, that they weren't able to catch the suspects within a 48-hour period, if not less than that, with the technology that they were equipped with. So go ahead and check this one out too as well.
It's generally assumed that residential areas are safe, but this case reveals a different reality. On the 4th of July, 19-year-old Matthew was celebrating the holiday with his family and friends at home. Everything was going well until they noticed a white Kia driving a little too fast. When the neighbors asked them to slow down, someone from the rear seat suddenly shot Matthew. At first, the kids thought it was fireworks, but then they saw Matthew lying on the ground in a pool of blood. The family frantically dialed 911, seeking immediate medical assistance. Medics arrived on the scene within minutes and began life-saving procedures on Matthew, who was still breathing.
And also notice the date and time. You know, this happened in 2022, July 4th. And notice that the time is 10:09 when the paramedics or law enforcement had first arrived. Just keep that in mind.
One bullet had entered his temple and exited through the back of his head, while another had gone through the window and into the house.
You got a gunshot wound to the right temple on this side. Right temple. I'm trying to hold pressure. Just hold pressure. I'm holding pressure.
Matthew, keep fighting, Matthew! Matthew, keep fighting for us!
I don't see it.
Hey, can we have everybody back up? We're going to have medics coming in here. Everybody back up towards the front, please.
You guys ready? Do you know? 1, 2, 3.
The white Kia was the second car, and they're driving hella fast.
Okay.
We pull out in the street, and we're like, hey, slow the down. There's kids, there's dogs, like, slow the down. The dude in the back seat of the Kia, the second car, he was like, they smashed off, and they started firing out the window.
3 shots.
3 shots. And I saw the spark come out the back window.
Which car did that come from?
The Kia, the 4-door Kia.
Okay,
And
wait for Kia.
so we were like, you know, we weren't sure what was going on until they started screaming, and we came down, and then I was like, and then I called.
Did you see what the person shooting looked like?
Yeah, there was a black dude with like short dreads in the back of the seat.
That's my son.
So did you guys see anything?
I was inside the house.
Was anybody outside?
Yes, we were all next to him. It happened so fast. He shot it, he still got the hand. It looked like he was shooting in the air, and I feel like the recoil pushed it down. But like he shot 5 times, it was completely all tinted, and it was the back passenger seat right here.
So can you guys, I know this is hard to remember, but can you guys remember, so what we got so far is a white Kia sedan.
I don't know, I thought it was a Mercedes, I don't know, it was a white car. It was
So
like
just a white car?
It was a white car, it was tinted, the windows were black, we didn't see anything, and we were just waiting, and then you said it was a white sedan.
All we have is a white sedan?
Either it's a Kia or a Mercedes, I don't know, it looked like a new car, and he was passing by, and the windows were tinted, and then we heard shots, and then I see my brother next to me fall backwards, and then I didn't know what happened. I thought maybe the fireworks went off. The fireworks went off, and then I see blood, and then I called 911.
A black female driver?
Yep. And 2 black males on the passenger side, both front and back.
Okay, black female driver, black male,
black male passenger, and black male in the back passenger. That's the one that said, "F you, bitch." And they started speeding off, and then next thing we know, we heard 3 gunshots.
And here again, I just wanted to highlight the timestamp of it being 10:12, 3 minutes after the first police arrived. Yeah, they're already out there, you know, looking for the suspects. Good job, police. That's good policing.
Without wasting any time, another team of officers was quickly dispatched to locate the suspect vehicle based on surveillance camera footage and witness descriptions.
Timestamp on this one is showing 10:08, which is showing that they were already using the technology that they have to go back and look at the footage in real time and start locating, you know, the path of travel of the suspect's vehicles. You know, amazing police work here. And it's amazing that, you know, someone had called 911 in an appropriate amount of time to enable these police to be able to do their job. Now look at this. By 10:13, they already have the suspects apprehended. By 10:13. That's like what? 4 minutes after the police even arrived to the scene. The difference on making a 911 call and not.
After a prolonged pursuit, the officers finally caught up with the suspect vehicle speeding away.
Back. On your knees, right there. On your knees. Hands out like an airplane. Hands out like an airplane.
Rear passenger, open the car door and step out with your hands up. You got the front coming out. Keep your hands out where we can see them. Step out of the car.
On your knees. On your knees. Keep your hands out like an airplane. Hands out like an airplane.
Passenger in the car, keep your hands out where we can see them. Continue to follow our commands and we can't guarantee your safety.
So we heard 3 rounds. We got 2 of them right now. We need 1 more.
Are you guys willing, you saw the shooter? Are you willing to ride in a police car and go positively identify these kids?
No, but if you bring them to me, I'll tell you who he is.
We legally cannot bring them here.
Are they in custody right now?
They are.
You could even tell that Buddy was surprised that they had apprehended him that quick. You know, if you want to watch this whole video in an entirety, go to Police Insider's channel and you can watch it there. I'll leave a link in the description. I'm just going to play this last clip of that video, and it's just to show that, 1, they caught the suspects, and 2, it goes to show how this affects everybody. And I mentioned that before, but this is going to actually give you a visual of how even the suspects' families are affected and seeing the real raw emotion. And that's the importance of getting these body cams and the 911 footage and not having everything so redacted and gagged. You know, we deserve to have the transparency so we can make up our own minds. So, you know, here you go.
Antonio, also known as Tony, was initially charged with first-degree assault, but the charge was later upgraded to first-degree murder after Matthew succumbed to his injuries 3 days later. He was held on a $2 million bail. However, another firearm recovered from the car contained DNA evidence linking it to Morris, also known as Momo, who had been sitting beside Angelique. A month later, officers arrived at his residence and arrested him.
Hands, blue shirt. Hey, sir in the blue shirt.
Blue short?
Shirt, sorry.
Morris.
Yeah, Morris. Right on. Walk this way, sir. It's the Kent Police. Just so you know, being audio and video recorded. So just 1 second. Go ahead and turn around for me. Get down on your knees, please.
Get away.
Okay, and then just stay right there. Hands.
I love you so much.
Okay, hi. I'm Officer Jago with the Kent Police Department. Just so you know, our body cameras are recording.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the short of it, okay?
Okay.
So Federal Way detectives are up here. Is that your son?
That's my son.
Okay, all right. So they have some sort of case where they have probable cause to arrest him. I don't have a whole lot of details. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go find the detective that needs, or that has info, so I can actually get you some answers. Does that make sense?
Yes, he just got off of work.
Okay. And like I said, so we're with Kent because you all live in Kent, right? So Federal Way kind of came in, so we're playing a little bit of the telephone game, right? So to help me kind of try to speed it along so they can come talk to you, who else is here right
It's
now?
just me and my son.
Just you two?
He just got here and I've been here by myself.
Okay. And does he live here?
He lives here.
Okay, gotcha.
And take note here that they didn't have to kick in the door and arrest all the family members, tear up their whole entire house, follow a person across half the country just to apprehend their suspect. You know, so just take note of that too.
Can you guys tell us what's going on?
Yep, as soon as we get the call. So just hang with me for just a sec. There was a warrant for Philip.
For what though?
For homicide.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Is that your son?
That's the youngest.
Oh my God!
Morris was also charged with first-degree murder and is being held on a $1.5 million bail. At this time, there is no further information available regarding their court hearings. Incidents like these not only claim an innocent life, but also devastate multiple families. It's crucial to reflect on the potential consequences of our decisions, especially for teenagers who have their whole lives ahead of them.
Well, gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Before I do, I'm gonna play a little soundbite, little clip from a movie called The Cleaner, featuring Samuel L. Jackson. And once again, I'm just playing it to highlight the difference between what happens when you call 911 and when you don't, and how it affects the investigation.
What's the worst thing you've seen? Oh, I want to know.
The worst thing I've ever seen. That would have to be before this job, when I was a cop. A homicide. Victim was a woman in her 30s, 2 gunshot wounds to the chest. Shooter was there to rob the place. Victim put up a fight, he shot her. There was moderate blood pooling on the floor, some spatter on the beds and walls.
That's the worst thing?
Down the hall in another bedroom, there was a kid. 2 paramedics were sitting with her. She was clutching a stuffed animal, a frog. She found her mother's body and called 911. Tough kid, think about it. 6 years old, and she still had sense enough to call 911.